Drishti IAS is pleased to bring you a program, Mastering Mains Answer Writing, targeting answer writing in Civil Services Mains Examination. We will be alternatively covering GS papers 1, 2 and 3 through this program. For GS4, please watch our program, Ethics, Definitions and Concepts. The link for it is mentioned in the description below. The structure of this program covers a GS question as basis for discussion, weightage of topic from which the question is being asked, how to approach the question, how to structure your answer, writing the actual answer, and related previous year questions from the topic. Let's look at the question we'll be discussing in this episode. The question is, China's growing presence in the Indian Ocean region is a cause of concern for India and regional stability. Discuss the implications and steps taken by India in this regard. The question is on the topic of Indian Ocean region from the segment of India and its neighborhood relations under GS paper 2. Over the years, the weightage of the topic has ranged between 2 to 7 questions in the period 2013 to 18. Shifting towards how to approach the question. In general, there are two things we have to understand with respect to a question: the underlying theme of the question and what is being asked about that theme. Now let's consider the above question. The underlying theme of the above question is Indian Ocean region. About this theme of Indian Ocean region, two things are being asked in the question. That is, China's presence in the Indian Ocean and its impact on Indian interests, and steps taken by India in this regard. Another important step in framing your approach to answering any question is to understand the command word. The command word in this question, discuss, requires a broadly covered and an all-encompassing answer highlighting positive and negative aspects of the theme. Solutions and remedies can also be suggested. Moving towards how to structure the answer. The first part of the answer will be introduction of the answer, which will briefly outline China's recent initiatives in the Indian Ocean region. The second part of the answer, that is the body of the answer, will include the strategic concerns for India as a result of growing Chinese presence in the Indian Ocean region and policy responses by India to counter China's growing presence in the Indian Ocean region. Lastly, in our conclusion, we will sum up our answer. Shifting focus to actual answer writing. The answer provided here is a representative answer, that is, how the actual answer may look like. It can be adapted or modified as per your own natural style of writing, whether paragraph form or short sentences or bullets or diagrams. We have also taken certain liberties with the word limit by including certain additional information in the answer for your comprehensive understanding. Let's have a look at the answer. The Indian Ocean region is central to China's future security and growth as it endeavors to expand its worldwide interests. China has gradually increased its presence in the Indian Ocean region as a part of its collaborative efforts to control piracy and ensure free flow of seaborne traffic. However, in the guise of this, it pursued the string of pearls strategy and encircled India by developing dual-use ports in Myanmar at Kayak Payu, Pakistan at Gwadar, Sri Lanka at Hambantota, Bangladesh at Chittagong, and Maldives at the I Haven project. The Indian Ocean also finds place of prominence in both of the components of the Belt and Road Initiative, that is, the Silk Road Economic Belt and the Maritime Silk Road. The convergence of the SREB and the MSR is in the Indian Ocean via the CPEC at Gwadar. Through the above policies, China is trying to establish its influence in the Indian Ocean region, which is a cause of concern for India because of the following reasons. Implications for India. China's strategy of debt trap or making Indian Ocean littoral nations financially dependent and extremely vulnerable to China's unhindered strategic control can harm India's bilateral relations with these countries and decrease India's strategic influence in the region. Gwadar port can be used by China for the potential disruption of India's trade and energy supplies due to its proximity to the shipping lanes emanating from the Strait of Hormuz. Pakistan-China axis. Through Gwadar port, China is pursuing its old strategy of using Pakistan to secure its interests in the region and control India's strategic space. America's relative decline in Indo-Pacific and the concurrent increase in China's forays into the Indian Ocean have left India concerned with the shifting maritime balance of power. China is already deploying intelligence-gathering ships and utilizing other marine craft like fishing fleets to gather intelligence about the Indian Ocean region, which has historically been viewed by India as its backyard. Responses by India to counter China's rise in the Indian Ocean region. India is developing the Chabahar port in Iran, which is less than 100 kilometers from the Gwadar port, to counter the China-Pakistan axis in the Indian Ocean region and safeguard its interests. Through policies like Neighborhood First and Act East policy, India is trying to improve relations with the Indian Ocean region littoral countries in order to maintain the balance of power in the Indian Ocean region. India, in partnership with Japan, has planned for the Asia-Africa Growth Corridor as a response to China's BRI. Through Quad initiative, India, Japan, Australia, and the US will cooperate economically, militarily, and strategically for free, open, prosperous, and inclusive Indo-Pacific region to contain China's rising footprint in the region. India is modernizing its naval power and conducting regular joint exercises such as the Malabar, Milan, and OS Index, etc., to prepare for any security threats from China from the Indian Ocean region. India's Project Mausam, formulated as an answer to China's Maritime Silk Road policy, aims to restore its ancient maritime routes and cultural links with the nations in East Africa, Arabian Peninsula, and the Indian subcontinent. Thus, India is trying to balance China's rise in the Indian Ocean region through multiple policy interventions, including both bilateral and multilateral regional alliances. India also favors a rule-based maritime order and freedom of navigation in the Indian Ocean region to ensure regional stability. At the end, let's have a look on previous year questions. In 2018, 3 questions were asked from international relations, and these questions were related to India's relations with Israel, India joining the Ashgabat Agreement, and the US-Iran nuclear pact controversy. In 2017, 4 questions that were asked from international relations were related to China's using its economic relations and positive trade surplus to develop a potential military power status in Asia. The other questions were related to the United Nations Economic and Social Council, India's energy security, and the role of Indian diaspora in the Southeast Asia. In 2016, the questions were related to India's Look East policy, the future of SAARC, and the McBride Commission of the UNESCO. In 2015, the questions asked were related to increasing interest of India in Africa, impediments faced by India in its pursuit of a permanent seat in the United Nations Security Council, Project Mausam, as well as India-Pakistan relations. In 2014, the questions asked were related to the South China Sea and international funding agencies. In 2013, there were 7 questions asked from this topic. They were related to the International Security Assistance Force, the String of Pearls, economic ties between India and Japan, protests in Shahbag Square in Dhaka in Bangladesh and its significance for India, political developments in Maldives, India-Sri Lanka relations, as well as Gujarat Doctrine. That is all for this episode. We will see you next time with the question from GS Paper 3. Stay tuned.